Any amount of alcohol in the blood may affect a driver's A. right-of-way privileges, B. judgment and physical coordination, C. knowledge. B. judgment and physical coordination. A driver's ability to safely operate a vehicle may be impaired at any BAC level, even a level lower than the legal limit. Any amount of alcohol can affect one's judgment and physical coordination. Driving under the influence of even a small amount of alcohol can lead to criminal charges. A pedestrian starts to cross the street after the "don't walk" signal begins to flash. The pedestrian is in the middle of the street when your signal light changes to green. You should A. proceed if you have the right of way. B. proceed if the pedestrian is not in your lane. C. wait until the pedestrian crosses the street before proceeding. C. wait until the pedestrian crosses the street before proceeding. At a green light, you must give the right of way to any vehicle, bicyclist, or pedestrian in the intersection. If a pedestrian begins crossing the street after the traffic signal light starts flashing, wait until they have crossed the street before proceeding. In traffic moving at 50 to 55 miles per hour, you are least likely to have an accident if you A. drive a few miles per hour faster than most other vehicles. B. stay within that speed range. C. drive a few miles per hour slower than most other vehicles. B. stay within that speed range. You should adjust your speed to travel smoothly with the other traffic on a roadway, provided that the other traffic is driving within the posted speed limits. Remember that vehicles moving in the same direction at the same speed cannot hit each other. Crashes involving multiple vehicles often happen when some vehicles are traveling at different speeds than others. When should you yield your legal right of way? A. often, even at controlled intersections. B. whenever it helps prevent collisions. C. never. It confuses other drivers. B. whenever it helps prevent collisions. Never assume other drivers will give you the right of way. Yield your right of way whenever it helps prevent collisions.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
What should a driver do when approaching a traffic control signal that is not in operation? A. come to a full stop and yield the right of way before entering the intersection. B. if the intersection is clear, the driver does not need to stop. C. drive quickly through the intersection to get out of the way of other vehicles. A. come to a full stop and yield the right of way before entering the intersection. When traffic control signals are not working, a driver must always treat the intersection as an all-way stop and come to a complete stop, unless otherwise directed by law enforcement. The driver must then look and yield the right of way before entering the intersection. If oncoming headlights are blinding you while you are driving at night, you should A. look toward the right edge of the road. B. switch your lights to high beams. C. turn your lights on and off. A. look toward the right edge of the road. If the headlights of an oncoming vehicle are blinding, glance toward the right edge of the road instead of looking directly ahead. This should keep your vehicle safely on the road until you pass the oncoming vehicle. If your vehicle has a mechanical problem, A. signal and pull into the slow lane. B. Stop in your lane and put on your hazard lights. C. Put on your hazard lights and pull off the road. C. Put on your hazard lights and pull off the road. If your vehicle breaks down on a highway, make sure other drivers can see it. Get your vehicle off the road and away from traffic if at all possible, and turn on your emergency flashers to show that you are having trouble. When driving in fog, it is best to drive with A. High beam headlights. B. Low beam headlights. C. Four-way flashers. B. Low beam headlights. Use low beam headlights when driving in fog, rain, or snow. High beams may reflect off of the weather and make visibility even poorer. This is the shape and color of a fill in the blank sign. A. Stop. B. Wrong way. C. Yield. C. Yield. Downward-facing triangular signs mean drivers must yield. When approaching a yield sign, slow down to a speed that is reasonable for existing conditions and stop if necessary. If you must stop, do so at a marked stop line, if it exists. What does this road sign mean? A. Slow down and prepare to stop if cars are approaching you. B. Come to a full stop then proceed when it is safe to do so. C. Proceed carefully through the intersection, not always stopping. This road sign means A. Flagger ahead. B. Turn left at the intersection. C. Last turn before a toll road. A. Flagger ahead. Orange is the standard color for work zone activity. If you see orange signs, cones, or barrels while driving, stay alert and be prepared for unexpected driving conditions. This sign alerts drivers to an upcoming flagger whose directions should be obeyed by all drivers. Adjust your rear view and side mirrors. A. Before you start driving. B. Whenever you need to use them. C. Before you get into the car. A. Before you start driving. Your safety and the safety of other drivers and pedestrians depends a lot on what you do before driving. Before moving your vehicle, you should adjust your seat, adjust your mirrors, fasten your safety belt, and secure items in and on your vehicle. Do not wait until your vehicle is moving to adjust your mirrors. You are driving on a one-way street. You may only turn left onto another one-way street if A. You increase your speed before the turn. B. Traffic on the street moves to the right. C. Traffic on the street moves to the left. C. Traffic on the street moves to the left. You may turn left onto a one-way street that moves to the left if there is no sign prohibiting the turn. You may not turn left onto a one-way street where traffic moves to the right. A green traffic signal indicates that approaching drivers should A. Come to a complete stop. B. Increase their speed to quickly clear the intersection. C. Continue driving straight through the intersection, turn left, or turn right. C. Continue driving straight through the intersection, turn left, or turn right. When approaching a steady green traffic signal, you may continue driving straight or you may turn, where allowed. When turning on a green light, you must first yield to pedestrians or other vehicles lawfully within the intersection. If you come to an intersection and your view to the side is blocked, you should A. Slow down and look both ways. B. Maintain your speed and look both ways. C. Stop, then inch forward until you can see clearly in both directions. C. Stop, then inch forward until you can see clearly in both directions. Drivers must slow down when approaching an intersection. If a clear view of cross traffic is obscured, a driver should come to a stop and inch forward until they can see clearly in both directions. Distracted driving is A. Anything that causes evasive action while driving. B. Anything that takes your attention away from driving. C. Anything that causes you to pay more attention to driving. B. Anything that takes your attention away from driving. The term, distracted driving, refers to driving while anything takes your eyes, hands, or mind away from the task at hand. Distracted driving is the most common contributing factor to reported traffic collisions. Distractions of any sort cause drivers to miss key visual and audio cues needed to avoid a crash. When you see this yellow sign, you should A. Always stop at the crosswalk. B. Stop at the crosswalk until a crossing guard signals for you to go. C. Be prepared to stop if children are in the crosswalk. C. Be prepared to stop if children are in the crosswalk. A five-sided sign indicates that you are near a school. Be aware and stop if children are in the crosswalk. What does this road sign indicate? A. Directions for children. B. School zone ahead. C. Playground area ahead. B. School zone ahead. Pentagonal signs indicate that you are in or are approaching a school zone and/or school crossing. Be aware of children when driving near a school zone and follow posted speed limits. Having a driver license is a requirement, b. privilege, c. right. B. Privilege. It is important to remember that driving is a privilege and that all drivers play a role in ensuring that everyone remains safe on the roadways. If you prove to be abusive of that privilege, the privilege may be revoked. If you experience a tire blowout, A. Tap or pump the brakes. B. Slow down gradually and use your brakes lightly. C. Apply the brakes firmly and quickly. B. Slow down gradually and use your brakes lightly. If you experience a tire blowout, you should slow down gradually by taking your foot off of the accelerator. Don't apply the brakes until the vehicle has slowed considerably. What is the purpose of rumble strips? A. They alert drivers to potential tire problems. B. They test a vehicle's shock absorbers. C. Through vibration and sound, they alert inattentive drivers to the fact that their vehicles have left the travel lane. C. Through vibration and sound, they alert inattentive drivers to the fact that their vehicles have left the travel lane. Rumble strips create noise and vibrations to warn drowsy or inattentive drivers that they are straying off of the road or are approaching a stop sign or signal. If you see orange construction signs and cones on a freeway, you must A. Slow down because the lane ends ahead. B. Be prepared for workers and equipment ahead. C. Change lanes and maintain your current speed. B. Be prepared for workers and equipment ahead. As you enter a work zone, signs and message boards will warn you of workers, slow-moving equipment, and/or closed lanes ahead. You should reduce your speed and be prepared to slow down or stop. When you are facing a green light and there are pedestrians in the intersection. A. You must yield the right of way to pedestrians. B. You have the right of way over pedestrians. C. Pedestrians must wait for you to cross. A. You must yield the right of way to pedestrians. When facing a green light, you must yield to pedestrians and vehicles already in the intersection. Drivers must yield to pedestrians when turning on a steady green signal. To pass on a two-lane road, you should A. Sound your horn as you pass. B. Flash your headlights as you pass. C. Judge the distance to any oncoming vehicles. C. Judge the distance to any oncoming vehicles. It can be hard to judge the speed of oncoming vehicles. They do not always seem to be coming as fast as they really are. Always be sure you can safely change lanes when passing on a two-lane street. If you are not sure of an oncoming vehicle's speed, wait to pass until the oncoming vehicle has passed and you are sure there is enough space for you to change lanes safely. The best way to avoid a dangerous situation while driving is to A. Know what is happening around your vehicle. B. Turn off the radio. C. Always keep your eyes focused ahead of your car. A. Know what is happening around your vehicle. Always be aware of what is happening around your vehicle. Constantly observing your surroundings to the front, sides, and rear of your vehicle will help you see problems that may require you to change speed or roadway position. To enter a gap in highway traffic. A. Watch only the vehicles behind the gap. B. Check behind you, then watch the vehicle ahead. C. Speed up and let the other vehicles make way. B. Check behind you, then watch the vehicle ahead. Whenever you want to change lanes or enter traffic, you must be sure that there are no vehicles in your way in the lane you want to enter. Always check for traffic to the side of and behind your vehicle before you change lanes. When a car with bright headlights drives toward you at night, you should A. Stop until the other driver passes. B. Look below their headlights. C. Glance toward the right edge of your lane. C. Glance toward the right edge of your lane. To avoid being blinded when driving at night, do not look directly at the headlights of oncoming cars. Instead, look toward the right edge of the road until the oncoming driver has passed. A sign with this shape means A. Railroad crossing. B. Warning. C. Signal ahead. B. Warning. A diamond-shaped yellow sign warns of possible danger ahead. Orange signs, which are mostly diamond-shaped, are used to warn of possible dangers in or near work areas. The center of the roadway is marked with one solid yellow line and one broken yellow line. If the broken yellow line is directly next to your traffic lane, it means A. You are not allowed to pass in this area. B. You are in a passing zone and it is safe for you to pass other vehicles on the left if no oncoming traffic is present. C. You are only allowed to make right turns in this area. B. You are in a passing zone and it is safe for you to pass other vehicles on the left if no oncoming traffic is present. When there is a solid yellow line and a broken yellow line in the center of the road, passing is permitted from the side of the road next to the broken line. This yellow warning sign means A. You are approaching a school or school crosswalk. B. Slow down, drive with caution, and watch for children. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. This sign is placed on roads near schools to warn drivers to slow down, drive with caution, and watch for children. Interstate driving requires drivers to A. Have the ability to safely drive at increased speeds. B. Be constantly alert. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. Safe use of the interstate demands drivers be constantly alert and capable of driving at high speeds. This road sign means A. When pavement is wet, reduce your speed. B. The road ahead winds in a series of turns or curves. C. Traffic increases ahead. A. When pavement is wet, reduce your speed. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. This sign warns drivers that the roadway will be slippery when wet and they should reduce their speed accordingly. To avoid traction loss on wet roads, you should A. Make abrupt turns. B. Apply the brakes firmly. C. Slow down. C. Slow down. To prevent hydroplaning, lower your speed in response to wet roads and keep your tires in good condition. If you detect a loss of control, take your foot off the gas, do not apply the brakes, maintain the direction of the vehicle, and allow the vehicle to slow to a manageable speed. If you drive more slowly than the flow of traffic, you will most likely A. Interfere with traffic and receive a ticket. B. Improve traffic flow. C. Demonstrate defensive driving techniques. A. Interfere with traffic and receive a ticket. You must drive more slowly than usual when there is heavy traffic or bad weather. However, if you block the normal and reasonable movement of traffic by driving too slowly, you may be cited. You should match the speed of traffic, unless the speed of traffic exceeds the legal speed limit. No passing zone. Signs tell drivers A. To speed up slightly. B. That it is not safe to pass. C. To maintain a steady speed. B. That it is not safe to pass. If you come across a "No Passing Zone" sign, it is not legal to pass in the indicated area. You are likely driving in an area with restricted visibility where it would be unsafe to pass another vehicle. When driving in fog, rain, or snow, use A. Low beams. B. High beams. C. Fog lights only. A. Low beams. Low beam headlights should be used in fog, rain, and snow. The light from high beams will reflect back to the driver under these weather conditions, causing a glare that will make it difficult to see ahead. If you are driving near a large commercial vehicle, you should A. Follow the large vehicle closely to reduce wind drag on your vehicle. B. Avoid driving beside it for long stretches of time. C. drive on its right side when on curves and hills. B. Avoid driving beside it for long stretches of time. Because large commercial vehicles have large blind spots on each side, you should avoid driving beside them for long periods of time. This white sign means you should not pass other vehicles. A. Until after you pass the sign. B. Unless it seems safe to do so. C. For any reason. C. For any reason. A white rectangular sign indicates that you must obey the stated rule. This sign means that drivers should not pass other vehicles for any reason. Before backing your vehicle, you should A. Walk completely around the vehicle to be sure no person or obstacle is behind it. B. Look to the front, sides, and rear. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. If you are going to back up a vehicle, it is a good practice to first walk around the vehicle to be sure no person or obstacle is behind it. Before backing, you should look to the front, sides, and rear and continue to look over your right shoulder to the rear while backing. Do not depend only on your mirrors. You may cross double yellow lines to pass another vehicle if the A. Vehicle in front of you moves to the right to let you pass. B. Yellow line next to your side of the road is broken. C. Yellow line next to the opposite side of the road is broken. B. Yellow line next to your side of the road is broken. A broken yellow line in the center of the road indicates that traffic next to the broken yellow line may pass, if it is safe to do so.